Welcome back to Bonanza Disc Golf. Today we are in Orlando, Florida, which is where I lived for 3 years before I moved into a van at what would have been one of my old home courses, but I never played disc golf here. So we're at Airport Lakes Disc Golf Course, and we're gonna be doing a Patreon-sponsored bag it or bin it for the Innova Archangel. Now this thing right now, you can only find it in DX. I think there's some old Champ ones that run for like $150, but I wasn't about to pick one of those up. And I got it max weight, so it's 175. And I wanna do kind of a challenge video along with this as a normal bag it or bin it, because Yuli, if you don't know who Yuli, maybe you're new to disc golf, in which case, welcome. But otherwise, he's been a touring pro and a face of the sport for a long time now. And one of the things that he really advocates for is having a disc in your bag that is way flippier than you have any business throwing. A lot of people have this on the other side for overstability, where they have like a stupid overstable disc, but not a lot of people bag the opposite end of the spectrum, which is what I want to see if this disc can do for me, because I honestly don't have any comparison. The numbers on this guy are 8.6, -4.1. Also, it's called Airport Lakes because it's right by the Orlando International Airport. But if you look at the profile here, it basically just looks like it's flat on the bottom. And if you know anything about discs and how to judge the stability of them, the parting line, which is right here, kind of where this seam is, where the bottom of the rim meets the top of the dome, that line, the lower it is, the more understable a disc is. So I imagine this is gonna be stupid flippy. And honestly, since it's DX, doesn't feel super comfortable now, but I'm sure it'll start to feel a little comfortable and probably beat in even over the course of this round. So I'm gonna be playing 9 holes here, because I don't have anything to compare this to, from the short tee pad to the yellow basket, which is the long position. In my estimation, the only real reason Yuli would advocate for having something this flippy in your bag is one, for those type of utility shots that, like, you just need a big Sky Anheuser shot that you can throw on hyzer somehow. Also rollers, obviously, but the third reason is touch. So I want to practice that a little bit today, because I know with my fairways, I can normally push them about 360, 380. I am working on a form change though, so please don't judge me, because this is going to be really ugly probably. Because with any bag it or bin it, if I'm not under par, I have to give this disc away. And since this was Patreon sponsored, I'm gonna have to give it to my patron David if I don't beat par. But we're gonna start off on hole number 1 here. I'm very interested. I think I'm gonna release this on some hyzer and a little bit of height if I can get enough touch that it'll actually start to come back towards the basket. Oh my gosh, go in the basket. Oh, what just happened? The first throw. The first throw. Are you kidding me? Wow, I threw that pretty much how I wanted it to. It's not as flippy as the -4 would suggest, at least off the bat. It seems pretty more. What the heck just happened? Wow, that came out of my hand real nice. All right, 1 down, hole 2. Hole 2 is 240 feet. Honestly, I'm thinking the play is roller, because I want to practice laying down a backhand roller. I think if I lay something down right in the middle here, I was just checking to see if there's a lot of ground stuff. It should be able to get all the way over to the basket with the roller. And I do want to try the backhand roller, and this might be one of the only shapes that kind of lines up for it. Yeah, I think we can do this. Well, didn't really snap it as much. This is not acting like a -4.1 is, right off the bat at least. That just kind of held that line. And I didn't throw it crazy hard. I don't know, maybe I need to treat it, maybe I'm thinking about it, because the only like -4.1 discs that I've ever thrown before are mid-ranges. And like those super flippy ones, those are also only 5 speeds though. So maybe the rim, I need to throw it a little bit harder. I just thought that honestly, even putting it down on Anheuser, I thought any amount of Anheuser, boom, it was just gonna turn into the roller. All right, probably got a 45-foot putt here on hole 2. Come on, baby. Maybe 50 feet, but no issue. Got it. Let's go. All right. 2 down. I'm gonna be honest, off the jump, I was like, this is bin it disc, terrible disc. And I've been wanting to learn some more finesse, especially in these woods. I'm interested to see if this will hold any torque on a forehand. All right, this is an interesting hole. It's 282 feet to the yellow, which you can see straight through there. Honestly, the play is like a straight backhand with the mid-range that has some finish, or maybe even a fairway. So I'm wondering if I try to throw this forehand and let the disc flex and try to go right over where that red basket is. That's just such a touchy forehand. The other play I'm thinking about could be a forehand roller to see how this thing actually rolls. Because in my forehand grip, this feels like a slick disc, honestly. And in general, it doesn't feel stupid comfortable. I'm sure, honestly, the weight, I didn't even think about that. The weight has a lot to do with this thing not being crazy flippy right now, it being max weight. Man, that forehand just feels like it's gonna slip right out of my hands though. The only problem is I don't trust it. I think it has to be that forehand. Turn over through this fairway and then come back. Gonna have to be really touchy with it. Yes. Yes, get a slide. That's pretty much what I wanted it to do. Very slow turn, had to keep it low because of the low ceiling right there. Probably if I would have thrown that higher, that seemed like it wanted to start to come back. Ooh, this is actually a good lesson, because I feel like this is a lot of why Yuli likes having these super flippy discs, is because shorter distances, they do act like really nice discs that take very little power to throw. Like, I'm not having to throw this disc at all on any of these throws. It's just getting to the basket. Not bad. We definitely have a putt here. And I think that's one of the things is you can have better form when you're not throwing something nearly as hard as you need to. Like I've not had to throw this hard and I've hit my spots and my lines pretty much. Even though that second one didn't really turn into a roller, I threw the shot I wanted to. So that is interesting. 3 for 3. Only 6 more to go to get 9 down, baby. All right, I think hole 4 here is gonna tell us a lot about this disc because it's 260 feet over all this kind of going back to the right. I can barely see the red basket off the tee and I cannot see the yellow. So I really want to see if this thing, if I throw it flat and a little bit high and make sure I keep the nose down, if it'll continue panning through, because we really need to hit this central gap here on some turn because the basket is just slightly down there. I still don't think I need to throw it crazy hard because it's only 260 feet. Oh, that's not my new form. That's bad form. I just need to make sure I keep the nose down and try to keep it flat to maybe even slightly anhyzer if it's nice and flippy. Maybe a little more nose up than I want to hit and sit. That's all right. I really don't think this is as flippy as the numbers suggest. Came over, it might not be too far actually. I kind of actually still have a putt. Not a good putt, but a putt. Drop. Oh, a little long. I wish I had something to compare it against, but I honestly, I could have brought like the Blackout from Doomsday, which is 8.5 negative 2.1. Anything like in that category, because it's much more similar. I still had a Heat that I maybe should have brought out. The ESP Heat is much flippier than the Archangel is. Hey, 3 through 4 isn't bad. Maybe we can eagle on the par 4. All right, hole number 5 to the yellow is 250 feet. This is the type of hole that I would think anything else I'm throwing that has these numbers, I'm throwing more like this. This one I feel like I have to throw kind of just baby hyzer, let it pop up and do the work. It is glidey, so that definitely helps. Don't need to give it crazy hyzer, just leave it a little left. It is not as understable as you think. Oh, I kind of wanted to ace that again, so I kind of ran it. I mean, in the air, that was 270. A negative 4.1 8-speed is gonna pop up to flat there. It never even got up to flat. Alrighty, Archie. Maybe I should just call it Archie. Maybe I'll name the disc, you know? That's something normal people do. I didn't look at the T sign, so we're gonna play this road as river, so I'm in bounds. I'm calling it. You can be mad at me. Oh, only David can yell at me. Hi. Shoot. This next hole I think is the hardest hole for me on this course with this disc, I would say. Especially since it's kind of finicky how flippy it is. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. It's like flippy, but not right over there. But as we move, we're only gonna be able to see the red. The yellow one, either need to finish on a forehand at that distance or throw a nice turnover shot. The big problem is like, honestly, this might work because this might actually have some late flip to it. No, it really hasn't seemed to. This is tough. I think I'm gonna have to throw the hyzer flip forehand just because of how stable this disc is acted. It seems to be understable, and I think it's a better miss too, because if I miss my angle and I turn it over, I have a straighter shot in as compared to trying to throw it too hard, powering up and going into those bushes. So I think we're gonna have to throw the hyzer flip forehand here, right up the gut. Oh, I got it right. Come back, come back, come back, come back, come back. Oh my gosh, that went a mile. That's way down there. I got the angle right to get it through the gap, which I think is really cool. That work I've been putting on the forehand has been working. I think we got 330 to 340 feet on that forehand, which is one of the other reasons I need to practice with these flippy discs, because I got the angle just off. If I was a little more hyzered, it would have stood up and come back a little faster, kept turning around that red basket and then finished eventually, but it did finish. So I didn't burn it over, which I'm very happy about. And we're literally pin high with the yellow. Maybe slightly ahead of it, but holy cow, that is awesome. That is not a shot historically I've been good at, but when you practice and focus, you can make it happen. So 45 feet for the birdie here on what I thought was the hardest hole for myself, which I think it still was. I just made a good shot. This is not 45 feet, this is like 60. What am I talking about? Let's freaking go. Oh, I thought I had it, but I didn't want to celebrate too early. Let's go. All right, what are we, 4 down now? 4 down through 6? Having a good day back at it. I took a couple days off of rest, went and played a little yesterday. That's really nice. I think I'm gonna be back lifting today for my training, but I think what I need to do is when I take my 2 lifting days off, the next day I need to go batch film videos because I feel like my play is gonna be way better. We're talking here, dude. Alrighty, so this hole, how far is it? T-pad says 230, not the red one, but slightly to the right. I think honestly the forehand is a play with this, but there's just too much torque. It's a little too finicky for me to try to throw so soft. And with this flippy of a disc, those are too many variables. I don't feel confident with my forehand yet. So I think throwing it straight, a little bit lower than I want, kind of wanting to get to the side of that red basket, either side of it, honestly almost going for the black ace. And if I get to either side of it flat, it should still be turning a little bit towards the other basket and get us a look for the 2. Oh, good kick out. That was certainly either side of it. All right, so my rule in these bag it or bennets is always, do I feel confident I can hit metal? Otherwise I have to throw the disc. Oh, if this wasn't in the way, honestly, the way I've been putting today, I kind of feel like I would. Could have a forehand. I think the best play is just a little backhand. Make sure I don't foot fault so that Jason doesn't yell at me. What a great baby bid. Way to put myself, oh, actually that's snuck to the other side. That was very gracious of it. Step off. I hate when I get unconfident about a 12-foot putt. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess it was 20 feet. Feels like a 12-footer though. It's kind of one of the funniest things I've noticed is the more I practice putting, the more a 30-footer feels like a 20-footer, the more 20-footer feels like a 10-footer, the more, like, I mean, I keep calling these 60-footers like 45-footers and then cashing them sometimes because it feels like that. Practice putting and the circle, not only the basket will feel bigger, the circle will feel smaller, which is a really good thing for you. All right, so this is what we're looking at for the tee sign here, par 4, 430 feet. Up through here, honestly pretty straight, straighter than you'd think, which I was a little nervous about because the roller with the flippy disc is gonna wanna curve, and so you have to put a lot of cut on it. But since this is a very straight fairway, ooh, that's kind of gonna be hard because I can't put down really a good cut roller then because of this. I can't put down a good power roller either. I might actually have to just throw this up the fairway, and I think that might be a good option because it's 435 feet. With the way that this is so flippy, if I hit the angle right, I think I might be able to get close to 400 out of it. Gonna probably throw this the hardest I've thrown it all day, so it should actually be a little flippier. Take that into account, make a good shot. Left it low. A little bit higher, I think that was good. That's one of the things that's hard with me figuring out right now with my trying to focus on my new form in my hips, is getting low to releasing it high and popping back up. Even that, I was on the balls of my feet. I'll learn it by the time the season comes around and hopefully cash at that Pro Tour event. So subscribe if you haven't yet. I forgot to say that so far. What are you doing if you haven't subscribed? Probably just watching, which is still cool. Both are cool, but be extra cool if you subscribe. All right, I might not have fully looked at this fairway because what I was hoping is that the disc would kind of come through here, be high enough, so just under these branches, that I could stable through, I guess, this Y right here and get to our basket, which is all the way straight down there. And now we really got to figure this shot out. We could just throw a standstill forehand. This is tough. I mean, we really want to get through this gap and miss those branches. That gap right there. So honestly, from a patent pending, I'm really bad at patent pendings. I think honestly I need to focus on bending my knees a little bit more because that gets me into that more athletic position. When I stand up, yeah, this is what I always stand up like this, and that's not how you throw. So I think from here, throwing it flat should have the right turn and go. Wow, that is not the gap at all. I was lucky. All right, much better kick than anticipated. Yeah, that's not bad at all. Good catch basket. That was right side all day long. All right, one more hole with the Archangel. I think if we get this one, I think we're 6. People on the fairway, people on the fairway. Oh, I didn't bring a chalk bag, dang it. This is my new like review bag because I think these are Discology bags. They're not a sponsor, but I am an affiliate with them. So if you have some Christmas money, go ahead and check out their bags. 10% off with my code. It's linked in the description, Bonanza10, and I get a kickback of that as well, which I'd really appreciate if you want to support. But they sent me out the OG V2, which is this bag, really nice, and the Izzo, which I think is going to be my bag because it holds so much, but this is going to be just my review bag. Honestly, this one might be slightly more comfortable, just doesn't quite hold as much, but full reviews will be coming out pretty soon. This basket, straight ahead of us, 265, slightly to the right. I think the flip up forehand looks like more of the play, but a low driven, slight hyzer flip because I keep it low, keep the nose really down, straight over that stump, like slight, nose down, let it flip, turn, cha-ching. Oh, it mostly did what I wanted, except I needed to throw maybe about 4 feet higher. I will tell you though, I'm pretty happy that I was able to hit the stump, you know? That's one part of hitting your line. Very lucky to not be out of bounds. Gonna need probably just a simple little forehand chip shot. Great shot, Anthony. Let's, oh yeah, hit the pan. Why don't we roll away 10 feet after we throw a perfect shot? 5 down, short to long, with just the Archangel and a putter. Not that bad. Oh, we're starting to see some damage though. This is what we're looking at, right around the edges there. Pretty interesting, especially right here. So I imagine it's gonna fly slightly flippier. Ooh, that's the big boy right there. But honestly, I think I'm gonna have to say, surprisingly bag it. Like, I had a lot of fun with this disc, and maybe more for the category than the specific disc, because if you like the way this thing flies, if I play another 2 rounds with it, it's probably not gonna fly the same at all. That being said though, it's probably gonna hold its stability for a decent bit if it's in your bag, because this is just that utility slot. You're probably not gonna be taking it out a crazy lot, so it's not really gonna get super beat up. But honestly, David, sorry that I like crushed this course with this disc. I was not expecting that at all. I really wish we would have started it with an ace, but hopefully we can end it with one. Yeah, way flippier already. Holy cow. I also bombed that. Definitely lost some of its stability. That started way out left compared to the other one. Good disc though. If you wanna check out my last Patreon sponsor, Baggy to Bennett, check it out right up here. If you join the 3rd tier of the Patreon, you can be my boss for today and tell me which disc to review. Please subscribe to the video. I really appreciate you guys. Likes are helpful too. This is a lot of fun. I have a couple more discs to review. Most of these are for reviews. Comparisons, but reviews. Okay, love you. Bye.